Hello. And we are back with another episode of Nothing But Facts. Season 3, episode 20. I'm Chloe Rogers, grandson of Steve Rogers,
Whoopie.
son of Aaron Rogers. And I'm here with the bestest co-host in the whole wide world, Mr. Trill Bill.
Back at it like crack addicts, just happy to be here. And I think we got someone special on the line, very requested guest.
No cap, one of the best Twitter accounts out there.
Our boy, Snellszn.
Give him a round of applause right now.
Woo! Thank you.
How you doing, man?
It's a pleasure. I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
It's a pleasure to have you back, man. I'm doing pretty damn good myself. Just enjoying this Sunday, watching some playoff basketball.
I think it's GG's already in that game.
I think it's actually fair to say Snell is here on a historic occasion, on the most historic year of Tony Snell's career.
Well, what did he do? 50, 50, sure. And 100? Oh, yeah.
50, 50, 100. I mean, to be fair, he only shot I don't know. He shot a low number of free throws this season, but he hasn't missed for 2 seasons. He's like 48 for 48 for his last 48. So
that's
this season it wasn't. It's still impressive. Yeah, I mean, he's an NBA player. That 50% from three is impressive nonetheless.
Shit, and he's in the playoffs. They looking like they could actually be in a real series with Philly. He's having a good year.
Doesn't he have doesn't he have that iconic stat line of 28 minutes and it was zeros across the board? That's still iconic.
Great cardio game.
Yeah, he's someone you need on your team. He's one of those guys.
Exactly. I mean, what I always say when people spam me with that picture is I say, the coach could have taken him out. He obviously was doing something out there. He was playing decent defense. I think he only shot twice that game anyway. So it's not like he was 0 for 30 or something. I think he only shot twice. But yeah, that's an iconic stat.
That's a great defender right there. That's all I know.
Mm-hmm.
But shit, let's hop right into it. I think we got some facts or cracks.
That we absolutely do. So to start things off, facts or crack, by the way, before we actually jump into facts or crack, if you're watching live on our YouTube channel, make sure you subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. Talk with us even. We want to talk with you. We want to know your takes. You're not left to be unheard. That's why this show is made. And if you are watching live on Twitter, make sure you hit that follow button as well. But yeah, let's jump on into it. So facts or crack. The winner of the Brooklyn-Milwaukee series is going to win the NBA Finals.
I'll let Snell take that first.
I think obviously this series for the Bucks is the most difficult in the East. I think, Philly's a good team, assuming they beat the Hawks. Philly's a good team. I think everyone thinks they're probably going to beat the Hawks. Who knows? There could be a big upset, but I think Philly's a good team for sure, but they're not the Nets. So I think if the Bucks win this series, I would be surprised if they didn't make it to the final. That being said, I think the Bucks beat the Clippers. I think the Bucks beat the Mavs. I think the Bucks beat. I think they handle the Clippers, but where I get a little bit afraid as a Bucks fan is the Suns and the Jazz, just because I think the Bucks beat the Nuggets too with Jamal Murray out, but the Jazz and the Suns scare me because they're kind of built like last year's Heat team, who I had been saying, for weeks leading up to that series, that was kind of the team in the East I was afraid of the most, just because they have shooters everywhere. They have defenders everywhere. So things get tough if they face either the Suns or the Jazz in the playoffs. I still think they would compete with them, but it's not, I would be feeling, as a Bucks fan, I would not be feeling great about it.
I've definitely got facts on it just because I feel like Giannis and the Bucks and the Nets and KD and that whole monster team over there, they're overall just the best 2 teams still left in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
With or without Harden, I still think that they're the 2 hardest outs And let's face it, if they weren't playing each other, then that would be the Eastern Conference Finals. Because if Atlanta had to play Brooklyn or if Atlanta had to play Milwaukee, that's 4-1.
Exactly how Snell said. It's like Milwaukee. If they beat Brooklyn, there's no one. The Suns are scary because they have Chris Paul, then they got the assassin in Booker, and then they got Ayton. He was the number 1 pick for a reason. But I just think this is for Giannis, especially with Drew Holiday. I will always vouch for Drew Holiday. They could beat Milwaukee, especially if Harden's already missing game 2. So let's see how long that process takes. But yeah, I got facts on that.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun series. This series is almost kind of like I saw a lot of Bucks fans who feel similar to you guys, kind of tweeting about how this is pretty much the finals for the Bucks. They think that if they win this series, they have a pretty good chance moving forward. I definitely. I also definitely think that this team's way better than last year's team and the team before, and the year before. So, I think this is about as good of a season in my recent memory. I mean, going back to 2001, but I think this season is kind of the best chance the Bucks have had in a long time.
And Giannis is still playing at MVP level. I think he has like identical stats to his MVP years.
Yeah, he's in even some categories he's been even better. But it's crazy. Giannis pretty much, it's like every year he gets better, at least at one aspect of his game.
And you see him now; he's starting to take more and more 3-pointers. Watch when he gets comfortable with that. It's GG's in the league.
Which season did he win the MVP in?
The past. It was the past 2 seasons, right? It was 20 and 19.
The man's a problem. And it's like, you got to remember, he's doing this basically on 30 minutes a night. Budenholzer doesn't like to play his guys any more than 35 minutes.
Not even in the playoffs. It's like,
so
it
it's
makes
like,
no
bro,
sense.
He's a monster. You just got to deal with it. And I think the biggest thing is you got helpers. Bobby Portis, Brent Forbes, PJ Tucker, Drew Holiday are all very important pieces that I think are going to help.
Yeah, I agree. And just kind of commenting on the whole Giannis minute situation thing. I tweeted something similar last night where I said, I think yesterday's game was a little bit of a weird one. The Bucks had a long time off. So, they've always struggled in those games where they've been off for a week and then they're finally playing. They need to kind of shake that rust off. They shot horribly from 3. It was like 4 for 30 or something like that. So I think that game yesterday was a little bit of a weird one. But what I said was I don't like the Bucks' chances in this series if Giannis, is going to play 7 minutes less than Kyrie and like 4 or 5 minutes less than KD. I think that's where the Bucks get in a little bit of trouble. So I'm assuming that changes, and I'm assuming the Bucks obviously don't have as bad of a shooting night as they had yesterday. But regardless, it's going to be a fun series. I think this is one that the people have been wanting for a long time.
I think Giannis has to play at least 40 minutes a game.
In order for them to have a shot.
He could do that. And it's not even no carrying. He's just like, it's the playoffs. You know what time it is. There's no breaks out here.
I mean, look at somebody, I think Robert tweeted it. So go ahead and look at my retweet if you want to see it from the person. So I'll give Robert some credit. Good Bucks fan. But he basically tweeted today after this 76ers game, Embiid played, what did he play? 38 minutes or something. And he has a torn ligament in his knee. And Giannis plays like 32 minutes yesterday. And it was a close game the whole time. I mean, if the Bucks were pretty much in it. They dropped by like 10 points and then they fought back and they were winning at the end of the first quarter. And so, seeing a guy play with a torn ligament in his knee and then Giannis can't crack 40 minutes, it's just, I don't know. It's rough.
Moving on to our next one.
All right. So next up on our topics for facts or crack, are LeBron's days as the best player in the world over?
Oh, this hurts.
I'll hop right into it. I've got facts on that one, big dog. And I know it's probably scary for a lot of people to think of that. But yeah, big dog, it's a lot of these demons coming up.
I don't even think it's scary. Sorry to cut you. I think it's surreal because like the past, 13, 14 years since
Well,
he got to Miami.
we have to look at it especially from around our age group. You know, like we.
Shit,
I was in
we
fifth
lived
grade.
down here. We saw that big three in Miami.
But I was also in fifth grade, like when LeBron got drafted, right? So like I look at it as like he was there for like for me to really understand the game of basketball, love the
he's
game
our
of
Michael
basketball.
Jordan, like
he's our Michael Jordan,
you
exactly.
get me? And it's just like, yeah, I think it's not GG's. You know, they're gonna be competitive. I would like a fully healthy Lakers could come out the West, but being the best player, you got that man over there in Brooklyn, number 7, who's doing like 32, coming off a ruptured Achilles. You got Giannis doing 2018, 13 and 6. You got Curry, who led the league in scoring.
All-time 3-point
Jokic is a walking triple-double. Devin Booker, that's mini Kobe.
Luka.
Jason Tatum doesn't care. He's dropped like 40 in back-to-back playoff games.
Luka just
I
needs
forgot
to
about
pace
that,
himself.
man. Luka is LeBron without the athleticism.
Luka just got to learn to pace himself. But we'll
He'd be
get into
tired,
that.
but yeah. How do you feel about that, Snell?
Yeah, I think I have facts on that too. It's like as we're talking about, it's kind of hard to say that because he has been around for so long. He has been that guy for so long. But you know, you look at his age; he's definitely slowed down a bit. It's hard to sit there and say he's still the best player in the NBA when all those guys that you named. I think there's a case to be made that they're as good, if not better, than him right now. So yeah, it's kind of a weird transition period for the NBA because I think he's still a great basketball player and he's still, you know, especially at his age, it's insane. But I think the game's in good hands. They have so many of these stars and so many of these young guys that look so promising. So I'm with you. I think that's fact.
All righty. That's a good one. What's our next one, sir?
All right. So we're going to keep talking about LeBron a little bit real quick.
Oh, brother.
Is LeBron's reign of winning rings and being in the finals over, and will he end his career with 4 titles? Facts or crack?
I'll start it off. I feel like that's crack, especially LeBron. You know, he's a general manager. He might go get Dame. If he gets Dame, it's a problem. It's GG's. No, it's really GG's because he doesn't have to do shit. He's just there. Dame, do what you got to do. I'll turn it on. AD, put a helmet on, knee pads on, elbow pads on. He needs Jesus because I don't know what's wrong with his body. But I got crack on that. I like LeBron at least 2 more years to maybe end with 5. I think 6 is out of the question unless he really does get Dame and he just continues because, he's going to be in year 19. Fucking year 19. He's about to do some Tom Brady shit at this point.
Snell, I'll let you take it first.
Yeah, I think if I had to place a bet, I think I'd go crack on that one. He's still LeBron and he has so much draw and gravity in the league. I think there are going to be so many guys that just want to play with him that I think, you could say you played on the same team as LeBron. Like LeBron's your teammate. So I think that as long as he's a player and around in the league, I think guys are going to be drawn towards him and he's going to have that kind of pull, especially playing in a big city in LA, assuming that he stays in LA. People want to come and play in LA and people want to play with LeBron. So I think as long as he's still in the league, I think he has a good shot. I think he probably ends up with 1 more.
All right. So LeBron James is 36. I think he turns 37 at the end of this year.
Yes, sir.
And I look at it like this. AD's made a paper. I don't know what trade he's going to pull off, but if there's going to be a trade, okay. But I still don't know how they beat in Brooklyn, bro. Like, let's face it. I don't know who, unless he goes out and gets himself a couple of guards.
If
I
you
don't
get
know
a
how
couple
they're
of
gonna
shooters
start.
and you get this is like best case scenario, you get Damian Lillard, I like Lakers to win the championship. It's a different timing with Dame. Dame's going to be in the spotlight. He's going to be like, wow, this is winning in the playoffs. Let Dame get to the finals. I bet you average 30.
I'm just like, that's tough though, because
Yeah,
that's
this
still
is a
Kyrie,
different
Harden,
timeline.
and
Yeah.
KD. Like, bro, that's and
You're
LeBron's
talking about AD made out of
37.
paper. James Harden got that history with the hamstring.
Exactly.
It's not healthy. I don't know what's wrong with him. He don't drink vitamins. He don't drink milk. I don't know what he don't do.
Oh yeah, they cheating over here.
Oh, Kawhi almost broke his. Oh my God, why is his foot bending like that?
Yeah, but
shit didn't even hurt him.
I got big facts on that. I think the reign is over personally, just because I don't think anybody can get through that Brooklyn team, bro. That team is terrifying to me.
Blake Griffin did 18 and 14. He told Detroit, I'm not gonna finesse.
Bro, LaMarcus Aldridge retired.
Yeah, that's what I keep forgetting that. Like, if they had LA, they just give him the title.
Like, Brad, like this team is terrifying.
Feels like since the pandemic, we've had 4 seasons worth of basketball.
Seriously.
But
Yeah.
Snell, you could go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say all these guys that in the regular season were making shots like Schroeder, Wes Matthews, even KCP. They all just shrank in this series. They all just could not hit shots, and if even if these guys, instead of making 25% of their threes, like I think they all averaged pretty much, if they made even 30% or 31 or 32%, I think that series could look a little different. But it's just those guys shrank in the playoffs. It was actually kind of watching the Lakers. It was it did not look like that same team as the year before. That's for sure.
At all. And Dennis Schroeder turned down 84 mil. He's sick.
You can get that again.
Ever.
What's our next one, sir?
So taking a little off basketball real quick, because it's kind of like the talk of the town, especially down here in South Florida. But will there be a knockout in tonight's Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul fight?
In that fight or all the fights?
In that fight. I couldn't care less about any of the other fights.
Hey, Chad Johnson fighting.
Honestly, I got facts on that just because Floyd might just mess around and be like, look, I knocked out a 6'2" person. I can knock out anybody. And then he gonna parlay this into another big money fight. And
well, he's gonna probably fight the other brother.
Nah. Floyd's gonna probably go and fight someone for real after this and just go make a huge payday and then officially retire. I don't think he's just fighting this guy for no reason. It's not enough payday as well.
Well, he said he had already made $30 million and the fight hadn't even happened yet.
Off of endorsing his trunks.
I'm for sure gonna go facts just because I want to see chaos. If Floyd Mayweather knock him out, that would be hilarious. Either or would be.
And Floyd Mayweather hasn't knocked nobody out in a long time.
And if it's the other way around, Twitter will explode. It will break down. I would stay off Twitter if that happened.
Floyd Mayweather would. Oh my god!
It would be worse.
The memes, the gifs.
His career would be a hoax at that point,
bro.
If he gets knocked out by this,
but anything's possible. This man's 6'2", big as hell for no reason. I still got Floyd. I don't think he can't touch him.
Yeah, I'm being in facts. I want to see a knockout. I think, at least I don't know much about boxing. I'm just gonna say that, but with everything that I do know, and knowing that Floyd's like one of the best ever, if he doesn't win, I know they're technically not going with a win or loss. It's an exhibition or whatever, but if he doesn't win, it's got to be rigged, right? It's got to be rigged at that point. I think Floyd, with his record and his history, I think there's no way he lets them rig it. I think he has to win, right? Am I crazy? He has to win.
No, he for sure. At this point, yeah, it's Floyd Mayweather. He can't lose to a YouTube star.
Yeah, if he doesn't win, then too many questions start getting asked at that point. It's like, this is the fight you lose. You didn't lose to Pacquiao. You didn't lose to Conor.
50 fights.
You lose to a YouTuber, bruh, in Miami. Like, bruh, like there's so many weird things about this. I'm like, I don't even think we usually have boxing matches down here, especially in a football stadium.
It's one thing I've been saying since the Paul brothers started getting into boxing is it feels like boxing took a page out of the book of wrestling.
For sure. For sure. Yeah. They're creating storylines and shit, all that craziness.
All right.
I agree.
So
it's just
we're about to see Luka get knocked out in the playoffs. 37.8 seconds left, and they're down by 13. Unless Luka's
Clippers versus
Tracy
Jazz will be
McGrady
fun.
times 10.
No, that's not gonna happen. It's GG's.
So with that being said, regardless of this series loss, and I will say the Clippers-Mavs series seems to becoming a great rivalry. Will Luka be a top 10 all-time player when it's all said and done?
He's on pace too. I'll start right there.
Bearing injury, and then obviously the accomplishments.
Anytime you ask these questions,
obviously
or anything like
they
that,
will obviously the accomplishments will start coming. Yeah, Paul George almost got hurt there, but
Tim Hardaway Jr.
Luka's gonna get most likely. He's gonna get those accomplishments, and he already has like 5,000 points career scored. He's a walking triple double. Yeah, at this point, I would bet on it that he would at least finish as like top 15, top 10 all time.
He literally just needs a second teammate. That's it. A consistent one.
Yeah. I was going to say, I think you almost, at this point, you almost have to say that there's going to be a good chance just with what he's done at his age. You have to think so, right? Especially if, like you were talking about, he gets a second star and a guy that's just really reliable. But he's, for his age and everything he's accomplished so far, he's nasty. It's hard now to sit back and say yes that he's going to be in the top 10 of all time, and just for his age. But I think the most important thing is the fact that this is even something that you can talk about and something that you can debate about. Just goes to show you how good he's been so far at such a young age. So I think that it's definitely possible. It's not it's not a pipe dream or anything.
Luka averages, I think, the second most points in the playoffs scored, like his career average, only behind Michael Jordan. It's there. You just gotta keep on going.
That shit's scary, bro.
Hey, you said it. I shouted you out in my article. They're probably
like,
looking there like, oh shit, this guy's a source.
Like, bro,
Hey, Snell, did you know that when Luka got drafted, he was finishing out his contract in Real Madrid? So the Mavs don't take it so hard in his rookie year, and he still did 21, 6, and 7.
That's crazy. That's crazy. I also, didn't he say at some point, like didn't he say that the competition that he was playing in Europe more challenging than here?
I remember that. I was talking about that earlier before we went live. I remember him saying that.
To say that at such a young age, like,
it's so disrespectful.
But then to be able to back it up, it's crazy. I mean, I don't know if people could have imagined him to like be better than he has been already. I know that Mavs fans were talking him up and people were talking about how crazy he was, but people talk about that with the rookies a lot, young guys a lot, and then they don't back it up, or they're good, but they're not this star. But he's been a star since he's hit the league. So it's just, it's crazy.
They
love Luka. Paul George and Kawhi are literally hugging Luka, just talking.
He's great. I mean, here, look, I wanted to point
44 and 14 in an elimination game.
So
that's what he dropped?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the kid's a problem. He's a kid. He's young.
So with Luka, before today at least, he had 12 playoff starts, and then 5 of them were double doubles, 3 of them were triple doubles. And then 4 of those performances, and this is the most out of any point range that he has. So even more than the 20-point, 30-point range, he has 4 40-point plus games in the playoffs out of 12. So that means a third of the games that he's playing in the playoffs, he's going to drop 40. And then that means a fourth of the games that he's played in the playoffs, he's going to drop a triple-double on you. And he's how old now? He's what, like
22?
22.
Yeah.
Imagine when he's like 27, 28, 29 years old.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yo.
Those are the prime years.
Oh, my. Yo.
Just get the man some help, bro.
Get
you could buy him some help at this
You imagine
Mark
he gets
Cuban,
like a Bradley
Mark
Beal in the offseason or something like that? Just somebody that could
him,
like slide at the 3.
Let Mark Cuban go get
oh, my God.
It's the best backcourt in
the
NBA.
That's crazy.
That'll be crazy. That'll be a wrap.
That's a problem.
Yeah, let's go on to our last facts of crack.
All right. So the final facts or crack top. Actually, no, we have 2 more facts or crack topics. Okay. We'll continue talking about Luka real quick, and we'll also incorporate Snell's boy Giannis. But Jason Tatum, Luka, and then Giannis, are they the top 3 of the next era?
Go first.
Let's let Snell go.
I think that's fact. I think when you're talking about like the 3 top young guys right now, those are the top names. And they're kind of guys. Luka needs to step up defensively, that's for sure. And he hits some crazy shots, but a little bit more reliable 3-ball, and Luka would just be insane. But I think it's fact. I think if you talk to like Adam Silver or anyone that's kind of in charge of the NBA or is a kind of a big wig in the NBA, I think there's not I think everyone would agree that the NBA is in great hands. Even if LeBron was going to retire at the end of this season, if he just all of a sudden came out and retired, I think it wouldn't be like it would be a hit to the basketball world, but it wouldn't be the end of the world by any means. Because the guys that you just named are insane and they're young, and you still have guys like KD, you still have guys like Kyrie, you still have guys like Harden that are not even really close to retiring, but they're still older than the guys that you named. So I think it's facts.
I think it's facts too. I sometimes feel like I might be crazy, but I feel like the gap between Luka and Tatum isn't that big. That's how I personally feel. That's how high I think of Jason Tatum. And then Giannis is for sure going to go down as an all-time great.
I just look at it like, yeah, Luka and Tatum is no question. With their age and what they've done so far, it's no question. With Giannis, it's like he has the accomplishments. We've seen the Defensive Player of the Years, back-to-back MVPs. Honestly, all he needs is a championship at this point. And Giannis will be set. He could coast off and be a Hall of Famer. Like, let's face it, bro. He's done everything he needs at this point besides get that
26.
championship. So it's like,
yeah,
that's crazy.
He's on the same boat that Steph went on.
And he
that
still
LeBron
got 10,
went on.
11, 12 years in the league.
Yeah.
And our next one, sir?
All right. Our last facts or crack is, will 3 stars be moved in the offseason this year for the NBA?
Okay, for sure, Dame is gone.
I don't know if he's leaving this season.
For sure, he's
For
gone.
sure. Jason Kidd's not going to be the coach. He's gone.
Trying to think of at least 2 more. Shit.
Levine, Bradley Beal.
Yeah, I think Zach LaVine gets traded as well. And damn, another star. It'll be very hard to think of another star. Maybe Cat. I think Minnesota gets broken up, honestly.
At this point, they're about to go win 15 games again. Come on, man. Since that tweet, the tweet that they said they thought the Wolves were going to be bad this season, I don't even think they've won like 25 games.
Nope.
That was a curse. That tweet was a curse.
Most definitely. And I think people still quote it, and it's like, you still haven't deleted this. It's just there.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if 3. I think that there's a good chance Levine. I think there's a possibility of Beal. The situation with Beal is really weird. He always talks about it seems like he wants to be traded, and then somebody will interview him, and he talks about how happy he is and he wants to see it through. And but a Dame trade would be a blockbuster. I think that would be like that would be huge. That would be enormous. So I don't know. It's going to be an interesting offseason for sure. I can't. I'll say facts. I think that there's going to be some shakeups and people are going to be surprised. Maybe I'm saying that because I want to see that happen. I want to see, these types of off seasons are always super exciting. But I think there's a chance that we see some big names move.
I agree. Facts. So Snell, we know you got something to do. You want to give the people where they could find you at?
Yeah. Just wanted to say to you guys, I appreciate you guys for having me on again. It's always a blast. And as far as the Bucks, I predicted I think this one would go to 7. So I'm hoping we get some entertaining basketball here, and I hope the Bucks shoot a little bit better for my sake tomorrow. But
for sure,
we'll see. I'm sure we'll be in touch. But like I said, I appreciate you guys for having me on. I'm always down.
Much love, brother. Be safe, man.
Yep. Take it easy, guys.
Y'all boys follow Snellszn. That's the GOAT.
That's the OG GOAT right there.
All right, so we done with facts or crack. Let's break into the little regular topics.
Yeah, so early in the week, we saw a historic change in a historic organization, and the Boston Celtics announced that Danny
historically
Ainge,
overrated.
I don't know if you can even say they're historically overrated. They're kind of like how their counterparts in the football.
Didn't they win in the 80s and then they won with the big three that was overrated? They got one championship and then they haven't done shit since.
I'm not saying which big three was overrated, but the organization itself is historic.
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry, but they are a little overrated. Don't execute me because they low key are, man.
All right. Well, Danny Ainge announced his retirement. He said it was time for him to ride off into the sunset, and he announced his successor as Brad Stevens. So he is no longer the head coach. I believe they were talking about different people being the head coach. I know David Fizdale's name was thrown out there, but let's talk about it. How do you guys feel about Brad Stevens moving on into the offices? He really doesn't have any sort of GM or president of basketball operations experience. He does say he understands the hardships of what this exact team has gone through.
Shit, just get themselves a big man, get out
That's all you
from
need.
under these shitty ass contracts like Kimba, and you'll be good from there.
Marcus Smart might be a good trade piece as well.
But it's like, bro, it's not that hard to like. You literally just made mistakes.
It's gonna be funny when Brad Stevens asks the coach to be like, "Oh, what can you do better than Brad Stevens?" You got to answer with.
It's like, you are Brad Stevens.
He's like, yes, I can do this better than you, this better than you. But yeah, it's gonna be insane because Boston, like, they're just right there. They're not better than Brooklyn. They're not better than Philly. They're not better than Milwaukee. So what are you doing to improve?
But you have two great pieces to build around.
But that's it. And then they didn't do anything. They got Evan Fournier, forward, another guard. When you got Langford chilling on the bench, Carson Edwards chilling on the bench for no reason.
You basically replaced Gordon Hayward with a European Gordon Hayward.
And it's like, why don't you get a center? You really think Tristan Thompson's going out there? He's a great player to have on your team, but
the worst part was that they traded away the closest thing Robert they had Williams to a center.
But it's like, they make no sense at all. I still don't understand why Brad Stevens just got promoted like that.
Bro, because they was like, look, we can't fire you because Danny Ainge is old and senile, so we just gonna promote you, but also you're not gonna coach no more.
And Danny Ainge probably realized he couldn't come back from saying he never noticed or was told about any racism in Boston.
Danny Ainge has gone out bad. He's gone
since
out
that
bad.
Trade. He was cursed.
Literally,
he did that finesse, and they were like, "Yep, you did the finesse, but you just sold your soul. The next 7 years, you're not gonna do anything. You're just gonna have those picks, and you're gonna get 2 wings. Have fun."
And you're gonna have Kyrie.
And then trade Kyrie. You didn't even make it work. You thought you got your superstar. And he was like, nah, this place weird.
They traded for Kyrie and then he left. That's crazy. Then
he called him out for being racist.
It's a hard life, man. It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, the Celtics, they got a ways to go. They were eliminated out of the playoffs. And one thing we did see out of this situation was Kyrie stepping on the logo Lucky on its face, and then a fan threw a bottle at him. And then we saw a trend of different behaviors from other fans in other arenas, where at Madison Square Garden, a fan spat on Trae Young. At another arena, someone poured popcorn on Russell Westbrook. And at another arena, a fan ran onto the court and tried taking a selfie with Dwight Howard.
That guy tried to touch the rim. He just wanted clout tokens. The other guys, I just think they have no principles or morals, and they were just raised wrong, or they just live life wrong. Like, why are you throwing water at them? Would you do it if you saw him in public?
Nope.
And no. And Kyrie, you could step on the logo. It's a logo. Who cares?
Can you imagine you tried Russell Westbrook on the street and he chased you down? You don't try Russell
Westbrook. You say what's up to Russell Westbrook and you're like, yo, you're a legend.
You know, like in The Incredible Hulk, when Hulk would jump like 45 feet. Like if you tried running from Russell Westbrook, you would see him probably jump up and just fly at you.
And then you spit at Trae Young, bro. You lucky 50 Cent didn't notice you spit at his girl as well, because 50 Cent would have just been like, good night. You're not going home. Like, why do you have to spit on someone? It don't matter if you're drunk. It don't matter what it is. You have a sense of yourself. You know what you're doing. What makes you think, yo, let me spit on this guy? Like, come on, bro.
I'll even say, when I was in DC 2 weeks ago, I went to a Nationals game, and there was a kid out there. I mean, he wasn't a kid. He was drinking. He had a beer in his hand. So, I mean, he was old enough to drink, but he was definitely young. But he started shouting at the bullpen of the Cincinnati Reds. And he was like, you guys are fucking garbage. And he kept yelling at him like that. And they told him hey, chill out. And they called security on him. He got removed from the areas. They told him to go to a different section. So he went literally one section over and started yelling at the Reds outfielder. And he ultimately told the guy at one point, he said, suck my cock. He literally said that out loud. And then the guy The guy was like playfully heckling with him at first, and then once he said that, Buddy turned around and didn't interact with him at all after that. And then the kid ended up getting kicked out again because he tried going back toward where the bullpen was and shouting at them.
Bro, some people just don't know how to act,
I just look at it like this. One, do you want a Malice in the Palace part 2? Because let's face it, like if an athlete actually gets his hands on you, you got to remember these.
GG's in the chat.
Nobody
are
doing that to Marcus
profession-
Smart again.
These are
Or Ron
professionally
Artest.
trained athletes who train year round, and they are not your size. These are NBA players who, at the minimum, are 6 feet tall. These are baseball players who, at the minimum, are 5'8", 5'9",
But bench and
And
lift
swing-
weights like a motherfucker.
and swing wooden bats for a fucking living. So I'm just like, yo, these are the last people that you should be trying. And the other thing, hey, ain't none of these people black. I'll just say that much. These are all some crazy ass white people, bruh. They making white people look bad. I'll put it just like that, big dog. Because let's face it, we don't go to the game, act that crazy. We get drunk. We say some wild shit. But we ain't never going to spit on nobody. Try to spit
I
on
think
a
it's
player.
okay to have fun with it. Like if you're like telling them like, hey, like you can't throw a ball, you know, like something like that. Like that's like fun heckling, you know. It's like ha ha ha, so funny.
Like
But
if I was at the game,
I'm
I would
the
just start. I would just
professional.
talk about pigeons the whole time to Trae Young. Literally, this type of pigeon, have a pigeon mask, all that stuff. Why are you gonna spin on him?
It's like, bruh. And it's like,
that's
you,
literally assault.
you tried to spit on him, bruh. And it's like,
Isn't it not with the whole pandemic and shit? Isn't that
Well,
like
no,
when-
even before the pandemic, spitting
but
on someone
yo,
is
I saw-
assault. That's assault. And Trae Young chose not to press charges on this person. Like that person could have gone to prison that night. Like not prison, but they would have gone to jail that night and everything and gotten charged with something for fucking up like that.
wow, things.
You know, and now you're banned from every Nick game possible or whatever.
Yeah, we're gonna
All
go to the
these people
finals
are
in 2
banned
years.
from all
Oh,
of these
they're
arenas.
sick.
Like they're gonna have kids and be like, damn, I can't even take my kid to a Knicks game now.
No, your kid could go by yourself. He's gonna be like, "Bye, dad."
You're gonna send them with their other dad. That's how it's gonna go at that point.
I would just get a fake ID and cut my hair. Honestly, bro. Like I'm not gonna like hypothetically, I get suspended from the Heat Arena. Just cut my hair, bro. Like it's not that deep. Like I'm gonna be back. Especially if we get a big 3 or something. I'm gonna be back, bro. Like, come on, bro. Pat Riley gonna have to fight me himself to stop me from getting in that arena.
All right. Well, talking about the Heat and like the Lakers, we saw a lot of surprising first round eliminations, but the Lakers was the most surprising because it was LeBron's first time ever losing in the first round. Chloe, I know your heart is hurting, so I will let you open this one up.
Well, it was somewhat of passing of the torch. I don't think of best player, even though I would consider, maybe KD the best player. But like passing of the torch, like that new era is coming in. John Morant outplayed Steph Curry in the play-in. Devin Booker did that to LeBron. You saw Luka outplaying Kawhi and Paul George for most of the series. When it comes to numbers, he might have outplayed both of them, but obviously Kawhi came through with that dub. What other players are there that outplayed? Jason Tatum. You saw what Jason Tatum was doing to the Nets. KD gave him his respect. He was like, yo, yeah, that guy's a problem.
You got a 50 ball. Like,
But yeah,
that's
the
all I
Lakers
gotta
getting
say.
bounced. Come on, the injuries just started piling up and piling up. Andre Drummond, I don't know what you do. AD got out. Caruso left that
I saw
game as well.
Andre Drummond making some big
And then like
stupid-ass
the Suns, like
mistakes.
yo, the Suns are like that's a team. You got
Yeah.
your point guard. You got the assassin. Everyone needs an assassin, just a straight scorer. You got
You
a
got the
wing
muscle.
who's from Villanova. Villanova boys come to the NBA ready to play. You have Jay Crowder shooting like 38% from 3. And then DeAndre Ayton was the #1 pick in the draft with Luka and Trey for a reason. If you saw him in Arizona, you know why.
He's 7'1".
And it's
True.
like he's
He's
only
big
getting
ass.
better. He's only getting better. Like it was like 19 and 12. I know in his career he's gonna do like 24 and 12 at one point. You could bet.
Let me ask this question. Do you think the Lakers losing was more of a testament of just, they kind of had a team that they put together last second / AD also got hurt? Or is it more of a testament to how great the Suns actually are?
If I'm keeping it 100%, if AD was 100% healthy, the Lakers win that series. But if I'm keeping it real, they wouldn't have beat Brooklyn. Unless all the Caruso, KCP, Ben McLemore, Kuzma, oh my, if all
Everybody
of them
would
were
have to be on
they on point, then yeah, because you have LeBron and AD. But getting out the West would have been easy. But going against Brooklyn, you better hope Philly or Milwaukee beat them. Because if not, it would have been GG's again. So at this point, it's like no one could talk shit about LeBron. Like, okay, he got out, and that's what they say. They say if you lose in the finals, it counts. If you don't, oh well. So he's chilling. He's already promoting Space Jam 2. He doesn't care.
Yeah.
You could tell it
It
doesn't
was a
bother him.
win-win
It
situation.
doesn't bother
for
him. It
this
don't bother me. It
offseason.
is what it is. He gonna be back strong, and you know the Lakers are gonna be back.
They gonna ship AD. They gonna be like,
Bro,
bro,
that
go
would be
get us,
insane.
go get us all the youngins back that we traded them for.
Literally. Can you imagine if LeBron
Go
had
get me
that
Julius
core around
Randle,
him?
Lonzo, Bi, and
How
Jordan
can you do that? You
Clarkson.
give like, okay, you could get AD for 30 games. You get him for 30 games. Like, you can't do that. But imagine they never traded any of them. They're just like, LeBron, don't
They're
worry. They're
sitting
going to be
better.
good.
They're sitting a lot better than
It
they
doesn't
are
say
right
that
now.
they all pan out how they are, but they would have like, LeBron would have had a nice little squad there.
I think him and Bi would have been nice together.
And Julius would have just been down low. Jordan
Oh my
Clarkson,
God,
bro.
yeah.
Lonzo would have been the point. Yeah. But it is what it is. Things happen. Things go.
All right. Well, we're heading into the semifinals. Do we have any predictions for the semifinals?
The Hawks actually, make it a series. I think they could possibly take it to 6. Still think they lose ultimately. They showed me something in game 1, but then they also showed me something at the end of game 1 because Philly started
Can
playing.
you tell me what
crackhead
happened? Because I
defense.
took a 15-minute nap because
Philly
I
just
thought
started playing hard defense.
like the game was over, and I wake up and they're only down by 5. I'm like, it was like J.R. Smith. I was like, wait, what?
I'll say this: I was amazed that the last minute at that game took about 20 minutes.
Exactly. Ben Simmons started being aggressive. He was driving.
But if Ben Simmons covers Trey from start to finish and is aggressive on him, it's a wrap.
In the first 2 quarters, when Danny Green was covering Trey, he allowed 19 points. You got to stop putting Danny
off
Green
with
on
his
him.
head.
It was crazy. I
wrong with
think
him.
Trey had he had like
19
and 5
after
he
he
had
got out of the
19
half.
and 5 at halftime, and then he finished with like 31 and 9 or
I believe
30
it was like
something.
35
No, he had like
and 10.
35. Yeah,
35 and 10.
and 10.
Bro, he was shitting on people. So it's
I'll
like
say he's gonna be like what Steph was to our generation for the next generation.
Yeah, for sure. I like Philly in 6 though, and then I wanted the Bucks to win, but I really think Brooklyn might. I want to be generous and say 6, but I think Brooklyn might 5 games.
they could sweep their ass, bro.
We could see what's gonna happen with James Harden, but obviously, as you saw, James Harden was not needed yesterday, playing about 43 seconds.
Bro, KD look healthy, and Kyrie still be cooking anybody that get him. That's all that matters.
Pretty much. And then, you got Utah and the Clippers. That's gonna be a very fun series. Oh God, Joe Ingles. Paul George has to see Joe Ingles again.
Yeah,
That's so fucking funny. I know people are already tweeting about that right now.
honestly, I got
that.
Utah in that series just because they got more wings. They got Donovan Mitchell, Bogdan, and Ingles and Clarkson.
They got. But at the end of the day, this is when you need.
It's just
this is when you
Kawhi
need
and
Rudy
just
Gobert.
PG.
This is when you need him because that paint's gonna be on lock, obviously. And then the other series, I'm gonna go with Phoenix. No Jamal Murray. Jokic said it himself that the hardest center he's had to cover this year is the boy in Phoenix, DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah, I was gonna say if there's anybody who can give Jokic problems,
is Austin Rivers there? Because Austin Rivers is gonna look at Chris Paul and
Denver.
be like, bro, just chill out, bro, because Chris Paul is gonna cook that boy, cook anyone that covers him. I got Phoenix in 6.
And Chris Paul gonna hold a vendetta at him because he had Doc Rivers. They didn't really end too well, all that stuff. So he probably gonna look at Austin Rivers and be like,
And if it's Utah versus Phoenix, I'm gonna rock with Chris Paul takes these boys to the finals with Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton. And that would be, Brooklyn, that would be tough, but at the same time, that would be a very good series. I personally think so. You think Brooklyn runs them off the court like that?
I mean, unless Ayton would have to play big. That's the only thing, because if you can get any team to match up to Brooklyn, it's a wrap. It's just a wrap, bro, because they don't have to play Blake Griffin. They can play KD at the 5 with Jeff Green or Bruce Brown.
I forgot Jeff Green's going to be back. Yeah, it might be GG's then. Never mind.
So it's like, yeah, bro. I like the Clippers. I don't think they beat Utah. I like Denver, honestly. I think it's the battle of light skins, and Jokic gets it done. He could be. You put Jokic in the finals, that'll be kind of fucking fire, cause he'll go off a fucking 51 game. They might lose still, but shit, he'll go.
He goes against Blake Griffin or anyone in Brooklyn. Yeah, it might be GG's, but Jokic is gonna average a triple double.
Exactly, and it's like MPJ.
He might come. He gonna look at KD. KD gonna look at him. He's like, that's me.
Just light skin.
That's gonna be
and
insane.
he combs his hair and shit.
And if Jamal Murray was there, I would like it, but yeah, it's not. So it would still be GG's. But I think MPJ will let the world know. That's why I bought his card.
Oh my
He
god.
gonna go crazy.
Oh my god. Imagine they make it to the finals. Throw Bowl on the court.
At that
Ju-
point,
they
it's
just
the
fuck up-
finals.
They just fuck
You
up
better start getting
everybody's
him ready.
life.
If you put Bobo on there, if you put I don't know who the point guard would be. You put Jay, you put Bobo, you put Jokic, and who else would be there?
Shit, you run Monte Morris and fucking Austin Rivers. And you
Bobo
just be
there.
like,
KD
fuck it.
gonna look at him. He's like, "Shit, bro, what?
Their
I
team
thought I
is
was
big as
Slender Man.
hell.
This, bro, that would be insane." How tall is Bobo? Like 7'2"?
Yeah, 7'2" or
Tall as
7'3"
shit.
with like
Yeah,
a 7-something
tall as
wingspan.
shit. That's insane.
That shit's scary. Any
Yeah.
more topics we got?
Do we have any more topics? Or that's
that,
it.
That would actually be it. Shout out to Snellszn.
Shout out to
once
Snellszn.
again, man.
Follow him at
That's that boy
Snellszn,
right there.
SZN. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at MBF_Clo, at MBF_Trill, at MBF_podcast, on YouTube, MBF_podcast, on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, at MBF_podcast. I'm tripping. Nothing but facts all together. Yo, that was a tongue twister right there. You guys follow us.
I'm gonna take a quote out
Like,
of Trill's
subscribe.
book. Whoopty.
Honestly, that was the biggest tongue twister.
Whoopty.
Whoop-de whoop.
That's it.
I'm gonna pull a Justin Herbert right now.
Just go fuck with us because we fuck with y'all. Thank y'all. Have
guys take
yourselves
care, bro.
a good,
Yeah.
beautiful Sunday. And if you like cards, go rip yourself some gems.
And watch the fight that night.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
I never said this before, but go Mayweather.
Oh shit.